Where are you watching from, Heat Nation? The stakes couldn't be higher as the Miami Heat found themselves in a must-win situation during the play-in game against the Charlotte Hornets. But the night took a turn for the worse when Bam Adebayo, the heart and soul of this team, went down with an injury that had fans holding their breath. This season, Adebayo has proven to be indispensable for Miami. His on-off splits tell a stark story of his impact. When he's on the court, the Heat are formidable. When he's off, the defense crumbles. So, to see him dive for a loose ball, only to have his leg yanked by LaMelo Ball, was a gut punch. The lack of a foul call on that play was baffling and left head coach Erik Spoelstra visibly furious on the sidelines. But the real concern was not just the miscall, but the fact that Adebayo had to exit with a lower back injury, leaving Miami's already thin frontcourt in a precarious position. As the game progressed, Spoelstra made the bold decision to start backup center Kal-El wearing Adebayo's absence, which surprised many. For a team that has relied heavily on its core this season, this was a gamble that could backfire. With Nikola Jovic sidelined and Kashad Johnson not a traditional big, the Heat's options were limited. The choice to promote Yamir Young to a standard contract instead of bringing in another frontcourt player during the season is now coming back to haunt the team on such a critical night. In the first half, the Heat managed to maintain a slim lead, aided by Ware's unexpected strong start. But as the game wore on, the reality of missing Adebayo began to sink in. With Miami trailing by the end of the third quarter thanks to Kobe White's offensive onslaught, the Heat had to dig deep. They fought back, closing the gap to 86-83, only for White to hit a buzzer beater, expanding Charlotte's lead to 6. The implications of Adebayo's injury extend far beyond this game. If the Heat were to pull off a miracle in advance, would Adebayo be ready for the next challenging matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers or the Orlando Magic? Miami has had a dismal record against the Magic this season, losing all 5 previous encounters. The stakes are monumental, and the absence of Adebayo raises serious questions about the Heat's chances moving forward. Post-game discussions are sure to center around what went wrong, not just with the officiating, but with roster decisions that left the team vulnerable. The Hornets have undergone a remarkable transformation, going from a 19-win team to a legitimate playoff contender, which makes Miami's plight even more disheartening. As fans, we can only hope for the best as we await updates on Adebayo's condition and what it means for the Heat's postseason aspirations. And as we pivot to the next segment, the focus will remain on the strategies that Spoelstra might employ in the wake of this adversity, as well as the critical decisions that lie ahead for this team. As the Miami Heat gear up for a pivotal do-or-die showdown against the Charlotte Hornets in the play-in tournament, the stakes couldn't be higher. The focus is unmistakably on this critical matchup, but behind the scenes, the Heat's front office is already strategizing for the offseason. The whispers around the league are echoing louder, revealing an unwavering determination to secure another star player, a move that could redefine the trajectory of this franchise. Shams Charania has brought to light what many fans and analysts have suspected. Miami is not merely content with their current roster. The Heat have been linked to high-profile stars in the past, and while those pursuits have often ended in disappointment, whether it was the failed attempts to land Damian Lillard following their remarkable run to the 2023 NBA Finals or the near miss with Kevin Durant last offseason, the team remains relentless in its quest for a superstar. This offseason, the eyes of the Heat are firmly set on Giannis Antetokounmpo, a player they actively pursued at the trade deadline. Pat Riley's reputation as a shrewd and ambitious executive precedes him, and it's clear from conversations with rival executives that he has a singular focus: securing his whale, shark, tiger, or any other term that encapsulates the essence of an elite player. The Heat's history of bold moves is well documented, and this latest report only cements their ongoing ambition. The offers made for both Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo weren't just casual inquiries. They were serious attempts to reshape the roster around Bam Adebayo, who has emerged as the cornerstone of this franchise. Charania's comments have stirred the pot even further, emphasizing that the Heat will certainly revisit their pursuit of Giannis, alongside any other star that might become available. The idea of pairing an offensive juggernaut with Adebayo is tantalizing for fans and a necessity for the team. While Bam has proven to be a versatile and impactful player, the Heat are in need of that definitive number 1 option, someone who can consistently take over games and carry the team when it matters most. As Miami prepared for the high-pressure environment of the play-in tournament, the focus must remain on the task at hand. The Hornets represent an immediate challenge, but the looming offseason is an undeniable backdrop. The Heat's front office is undoubtedly evaluating every possible avenue to ensure they are competitive not just in the short term, but for years to come. The upcoming game against the Hornets is not just a chance to extend their playoff hopes. It's also a platform for players to showcase their potential as the team navigates these pivotal decisions. The outcome of this matchup could very well influence the Heat's approach in the offseason, shaping their strategy as they look to enhance their roster. As we watch this crucial game unfold, the emotions run high. Fans are understandably anxious, holding their breath as the Heat fight for their playoff lives, but simultaneously buzzing with speculation about what the future holds. Will they finally land the star player that can help propel them back to title contention? The answer is uncertain, but one thing is clear: Miami is not willing to settle. And with that, we turn our attention to the next item, keeping our fingers crossed for a victory that not only secures a playoff spot, but also sets the stage for an exhilarating offseason. As we wrap up our analysis of the Miami Heat's tumultuous season, there's no denying the anticipation building around tonight's pivotal play-in game against the Charlotte Hornets. Where are you watching from, Heat fans? Sound off in the comments below, because this matchup is the last chance for Miami to salvage what has been a roller coaster of a season. Finishing with a 43-39 record and landing in 10th place in the Eastern Conference, the Heat have experienced a whirlwind of highs and lows this year. From Bam Adebayo's electrifying 83-point game to impressive victories over teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, Detroit Pistons, and Denver Nuggets, it's clear Miami has the talent to compete. Yet, they've also shown an alarming inconsistency, particularly in the second half of the season, culminating in a collapse that saw them slide into the play-in scenario. Despite leading the league in pace at 104.2, which is a far cry from their past slow-paced identity, Miami finished second in the league in points per game at 120.9. However, their field goal percentage languished at 46.8%, and a three-point percentage of 36.1% left much to be desired. These figures illustrate a team capable of scoring, but lacking the precision to convert opportunities efficiently. The late-season surge of 7 consecutive victories was quickly undone by a disastrous stretch of 7 losses in 8 games. This inconsistency can be largely attributed to a defense that fell off a cliff, raising serious questions about the team's two-way capabilities. If Miami is to evolve and contend, it's imperative they target a two-way player in the upcoming draft, a strategic move that could turn their fortunes around. The reality is that Miami finds itself in a frustrating limbo. They're not bad enough to secure a top pick, yet not good enough to compete for a championship. For the betterment of the franchise, a loss tonight could actually be beneficial. It would allow them to enter the draft lottery with a better chance of landing a high-impact player, someone who can contribute immediately. The draft philosophy should center around best player available, regardless of positional need. With Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro as the foundational pieces, Adebayo, now on a hefty 3-year, $160.3 million contract, and Herro, a polarizing figure with a hefty $30 million annual salary, the Heat must look to bolster the roster effectively. Herro, despite flashes of brilliance, has faced skepticism regarding his trade value, especially given his defensive liabilities. The reality is, beyond Adebayo and Herro, Miami's roster lacks certainty heading into next season. The potential departure of free agents like Norman Powell and Andrew Wiggins further complicates matters. Powell had a stellar first half of the season, culminating in his first All-Star selection, while Wiggins may opt out of his player option to secure a more lucrative deal with a win-now team. Miami could very well use this draft class to secure a shooting guard or small forward, or even add depth at the point guard position, despite having drafted Kaspers Jakusionis last year. Currently, the point guard depth chart is shaky, with Davion Mitchell as more of a backup option and Yamir Young not yet demonstrating starter potential. Looking deeper into potential draft prospects, names like Braden Burries, Yaxel Lindeborg, and LeBaron Philin Jr. stand out. Burries, a 6'4" shooting guard, showcased impressive scoring ability with a 49% shooting percentage from the field and 39.1% from three during his time at Arizona, also contributing defensively with 1.5 steals per game. His performance in the NCAA tournament, especially a 23-point showing against Arkansas, has certainly caught the attention of scouts. Lindeborg, a versatile power forward who recently won a national championship, brings a physical presence and defensive versatility. His ability to shoot from distance, combined with strong rebounding stats, makes him an appealing prospect for Miami. Meanwhile, Philin Jr. offers a dynamic scoring threat, but is projected as a bench player due to questions about his explosiveness. The Heat must hit on their next draft selection to inject fresh talent into a roster that's aging and in need of rejuvenation. With Adebayo and Harrow as the core, and players like Larson, Ware, and Jaquez Jr. as potential role players, Miami is on the brink of either contention or mediocrity. The frontcourt duo of Adebayo and Kellel, Ware, has the potential to be fearsome, provided they receive the proper coaching and development. As we look forward to tonight's crucial contest, the implications are far-reaching. A win could provide a temporary respite from a disappointing season, but a loss may open the door to a brighter future filled with young talent. The draft holds the promise of a transformative player who can elevate Miami back into serious contention. In the end, the Miami Heat must embrace this pivotal moment. Fans, your voices matter. Share where you're watching from and your thoughts on the Heat's future in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with all things Miami Heat, don't forget to subscribe and keep the conversation going. This is a crucial moment in the team's story. Let's see where it leads.